Donald Trump says that the U.S. will send Patriot air defense systems to Ukraine and that they will be paid for by the European Union. Nearly 2 weeks ago, Washington paused Patriot shipments amid concerns that the U.S. stockpiles were running low. Trump's U-turn comes after he teased a, quote, major statement on Russia. News outlet Axios reports that Trump is expected to announce a new plan to arm Ukraine with offensive weapons. If confirmed, this would mark a major shift from his earlier stance. Trump said that the Patriot missiles are necessary to defend and once again expressed his frustration in dealing with Russian President Vladimir Putin.
I haven't agreed on the number yet, but they're going to have some because they do need protection. But the European Union is paying for it. We're not paying anything for it, but we will send it. It'll be business for us, and we will send them Patriots, which they desperately need, because Putin really surprised a lot of people. He talks nice, and then he bombs everybody in the evening. So there's a little bit of a problem there, and I don't like it.
Let's get more. We are joined by Jacob Kirkegaard, Senior Fellow at the Bruegel Institute and a graduate of the Danish Army's Special School of Intelligence. Thank you for your time this morning. We're also hearing these reports that Trump is on the verge of announcing an aggressive weapons plan today. What do you expect you might hear?
Well, I think apart from the Patriots that you mentioned, that are obviously defensive in nature, I would certainly expect there to be, for instance, long-range missiles. This could be more ATACMS. It could be even longer-range missiles, which the United States obviously has in their inventory. But I think when you say offensive weapons, it means deep strike capability inside Russia, which is one of the things that Ukraine have been missing to date. So absolutely more air defense missiles and more long-range missiles.
Deep strike weapons, what are we talking about here?
Well, I think we're looking at JDAMs. I think we're looking at JASSMs. As I said, when you say deep strike, you typically mean the ability to hit targets further away than 150 kilometers from the border. This is where, obviously, to date, Ukraine has been able to engineer lots of drones. We see that on a daily basis. But if you have longer range missiles, you're able to attack fortified positions, etc., which again is one of the capabilities that Ukraine has to date lacked. That the United States will, if Trump decides, will be able to alleviate very, very soon.
That has long been on Ukraine's wish list, but they've gotten a lot of pushback from the Americans. How massive a policy shift would it be if Trump does indeed agree to send them?
I mean, it will be nearly 180, and not just for Trump, but I mean also the Biden administration, where clearly, Joe Biden himself, the former National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan, these were all people who were opposed to giving Ukraine these kinds of weapons. So this would be a massive U-turn for U.S. policy throughout this war. What caused it? I'm not going to speculate on the decision-making processes of Donald Trump, but it appears that he has finally run out of patience with Vladimir Putin. He will say it's a huge surprise. I think most people that know Putin, that have seen Putin over the years, would have said, you should have known. But I guess better late than never. That's certainly the perspective that I believe Ukraine will take.
The Trump administration has been very big on differentiating between offensive and defensive weapons in Ukraine. But what's the difference, really?
Well, I mean, defensive weapons are basically weapons that will protect the Ukrainian population, Ukrainian territory, Ukrainian army. That today, of course, first and foremost means air defense missiles. It means, and then again, it means Patriots, as we already saw. There appears to be a deal where European countries will buy a number of Patriot missile launchers from the United States, and then they will be shipped. The big problem there, though, remains that it's one thing to have the launchers, you also need to have missiles for them, and there we will have to see how many will be shipped. But I think it's fair to say that there is a global shortage of advanced air defense missiles at the moment.
Do you think, I mean, if the United States, for example, and again, just to say, we do not know what Trump may announce, but if he does indeed announce these longer range missiles, would this be enough to change the trajectory of the war, in your opinion?
I don't think it will be enough to change, materially. It's going to cause a Ukrainian breakthrough or immediately deny Russia some military capabilities. But what it might do is that it might help convince Vladimir Putin that he cannot win this war. Because so far, since Donald Trump was reelected, he's clearly been betting that the United States would not support Ukraine, and that of course, would, and by the way, that the European Union would also lose interest, and that would allow Russia over time to simply grind down and exhaust Ukraine and eventually overwhelm them. That has not happened. Clearly, the European Union has also increased its support. But if the United States massively enters, then maybe Putin will recognize, look, this is a lost cause, or I cannot win, so I better file or start negotiating for real sooner rather than later. That would, again, certainly be the hope that I believe Ukraine will adopt, and I think the one we should all hope for.
Okay, Jacob Kirkegaard, Senior Fellow at the Bruegel Institute. Thank you so much for providing that assessment of the situation. We appreciate it.
My pleasure.